What is going on, Internet? This is JD coming at you with another video from Redskins Rant. Hail to the Redskins. This will be my video about the Bears. I actually did a different video about the Bears, more in depth. I'm just being honest. It was a busy week last week. I worked a lot of morning shifts, and the way my shifts work out, I work in the morning, I come home at night, and I spend time with my wife, and she's kind of, I won't say needy, but she likes the attention when I have time to give her. But if I work mornings or I work in the evenings, I have all morning to do my stuff, and then I come home at like 9, and she works in the morning. So that was basically what happened last week. I had a lot of morning shifts. So that being said, I did a video and I just didn't have time to post it. This weekend I was off, but me and my wife went to a Renaissance fair, and yesterday just enjoyed some football. So that being said, time to move on. So talk about the Redskins. So first thing I'm going to go over is I've heard a lot of chatter in the last week or so about a lot of different things. One, people are still obnoxious to the point where they think that it is a great idea to bench Case Keenum and start Dwayne Haskins. Let me ask this question. If Dwayne Haskins was starting right now and he had the same exact stats Keenum had, would you want to bench Haskins and put in Keenum? The answer to that question is an emphatic no. You wouldn't. So I don't know why you'd want to do that to Case Keenum. He's completing almost, it's like 69% of his passes, so almost 70% completion. He's got over 600 yards passing, so that's 300 yards a game. He's got 5 touchdowns. Okay? He's got no interceptions. I mean, yeah, he's got some that look like they would have been interceptions, but they were dropped. So, but they don't count unless that's like he has a lot of would-be touchdowns or would-be catches and conversions if receivers could catch. In the Dallas game, and I'm not getting into that. It's just not important to go over that. The point is, Case Keenum is not the problem we're having. We're not exactly having a great running attack right now. The biggest issues we're having really are two different things. Third down conversions, where on the season right now, our defense is allowing the opposition to convert on 64% of their downs. That's almost 2 out of every 3 third downs they're converting. We're not going to have very much success doing that. So that's the problem we're having right now. It's not like, if you look at it and you look at stats, like, okay, we're getting a lot of yards too. The yards really don't to me, it doesn't feel like a couple years ago when we had Kirk Cousins and we were playing Dallas and they racked up like 150 rushing yards on it. You felt the weight of that running game just eating into us. You felt that. You felt that their game, they were imposing their will. I didn't feel like Dallas was running the ball and imposing their will on us. I didn't feel that with the Eagles too. Granted, we are giving up about 150 yards rushing per game, roughly. But I don't feel like that's the reason we're losing. So if you're getting a lot of third and longs, that means you're doing a lot of things right on first and second down. The problem is we're not converting on third downs, and here's the biggest problem: we're not bringing any pressure. I watched last night Baker Mayfield, the Rams versus Baker Mayfield. Wade Phillips would have been a fantastic defensive coordinator. Wade Phillips brought pressure every single throw Baker Mayfield had. He brought pressure on every single throw that Baker Mayfield had. Baker Mayfield did not have a clean pocket. He did not have a chance to throw, and he brought pressure every single time and just manned up with everyone else. And I don't want to say it worked, but it did work because I think we can all agree that the Browns have very good talent at receiver, and the way they were playing, they couldn't get into their routes. The way they were playing, they could not get into their routes, and it very much limited. Now, granted, the Rams have a better defensive line than we have when it comes to the pass rushing aspect of it. So, but I just think our defensive coordinating is not done very well. It's not going well at all. Manusky, and what I mean by that is Manusky's not bringing pressure. He's not making it difficult. It looks like we're just in base all the time. We very rarely bring heat. We don't put quarterbacks. We're not pressuring quarterbacks. Now, our rookies. Honestly, what's crazy is our rookies. Our top 5 tacklers, 3 of them are rookies. Jimmy Moreland, Montez Sweat, and who's the other guy? Cole Holcomb. So that's kind of some good news about our defense. I think we're gonna have Jonathan Allen back this week. That's really exciting to have him back. I mean, I think he's our best defensive lineman. A lot of people have been saying Payne lately. It's not. It's Jonathan Allen. He's kind of the benchmark of that defensive line. And like I said, I don't think teams have been like running it down our throats. I mean, it looks like that in the stat book, but if you watch the game, it doesn't feel like teams are imposing their will on us. It seems like they'll get like a 7-yard gash here, and then like the next play they don't get much. But because they keep converting like every 10 yards, they keep, being able to redo this this formula of first down, run for 7 yards, second down, maybe get sacked or not get sacked. We only got 2 sacks in the season. Second down, incomplete pass, and then third down, it's like 3rd and 3 or whatever, convert, and then do that same thing again. That seems to be more like what people's formula is to beat us. At least Dallas. Eagles, not so much. So here's and the other thing killing us is offensive line. Offensive line. Last week, week 1, it was Morgan Moses. He had so many penalties that stalled drives. Last week, what really killed us last week was Brandon Sheriff. The right side of the line is sucking right now. I don't understand. I don't know what's going on. They are just not playing well at all. They're not playing smart. They're holding a lot. And apparently there's something that the referees have never called holding before. Now they're starting to call holding. I watch the game and I see holding all the time. And I'm just like, this is freaking ridiculous. I never want to hear people bitch and complain about the defense gets all the calls or the game's harder on the defense. No. Offensive player can't put their hands on somebody without having a penalty call. Offensive line can't do that. Like, you're allowed to hold right in here. You're allowed to. And even if they try to break away, you're still allowed to hold. I've been taught that since I was in grade school. But for some reason in the NFL now, that you can't, like, once they try to, like, run away from you, you can't hold on to it. No, you're allowed to hold on to that as long as you want to. When I was in high school, we literally got taught that you literally get under their pads, grab their pads in here, and you hold out like that. And that's how you pass block. And we had one of the best we were the best pass blocking offensive line our school's ever seen. And I've always been taught that. I don't understand why all of a sudden it's being called a penalty on the Redskins. And again, I don't like blaming officials. I hate blaming officials. But that's just a call that kind of irks me. Some of the Brandon Sheriff ones were bad. I can't blame Morgan Moses this week. It's not his fault this time. All right, so let's talk about the Bears. Bears have Mitchell Trubisky. I actually said to a friend of mine, dude, you might want to trade your quarterback in fantasy for Mitchell Trubisky. He's like, why? Because the Redskins have been giving fantasy quarterbacks about 30 points a game. He didn't do it. He kept Jimmy Garoppolo last week, and Jimmy had like 4 turnovers. But there's 2 ways this game's gonna go. Either Manusky is gonna he was either like given some kind of warning, like, hey dude, if you don't actually get the defense doing something right this week, you're gone. Which I hope is the case. I wanted him to be gone. I've stood up for him in the past. I thought he did a great job. And last year, I thought the issue was that because we threw in Clinton Dix right in the middle of the season, it kind of messed with his scheme. And I thought that messed with our chemistry. So I stood up for him last week, but I can't stand up for him anymore. This is ridiculous how the defense has played the first few weeks. We're not attacking success. We're not going after them. We're not getting in their face and making them impose their will on us. We're letting them do whatever they want, and we're not getting after the quarterback. We're not bringing any heat. I really haven't seen a true blitz yet on 3rd and 15. Blitz, play one-on-one with everyone, maybe one over the top, and just bring the house and make the quarterback make a quick decision. That's all you have to do. Look what Carson Wentz has done in the last 2 weeks. I'm just going to go off first week. First week, Carson Wentz had 0 pressure. And any kind of pressure we did get where we flushed him out of the pocket and we didn't have enough guys actually make the tackle, he would scramble until we found someone open. Look at it in the last 2 weeks. The last 2 weeks, Carson Wentz, it looked like hot garbage. When you get pressure on Carson Wentz, he cannot find people open. He turns the ball over. Atlanta, he had 2 turnovers. I don't know what he had last night. I didn't watch the game. I didn't pay attention to that game. I was watching a different game. But he had 2 turnovers. He had 2 turnovers last week, and I think last night he had 1 or 2 turnovers. I don't remember off the top of my head. I could check, but I'm not going to do it while I'm driving. I'm pretty confident that Detroit's defense has got after them. And look at that. You get after Carson Wentz and they lose. That's what the motor that drives that team. The defense is the motor that drives that team. It's Carson Wentz. And granted, you can use the excuse like his receivers aren't very good right now. Okay, I don't want to hear that after I watched Phillip Rivers, and in the last drive alone, his receivers dropped like 6 passes. I don't want to hear that. You got to finish games, and Carson Wentz is the motor that drives that machine. They don't have a strong running game. They don't have a strong. They have a good defensive line, a good front seven, but they don't have a good back end of the defense. And if you get after Carson Wentz, he flusters a little bit. He does. So we really need to. The Redskins really need to start bringing pressure. And this week, they have to start doing it now. This is a must-win game. The Redskins are. I keep telling people now. I'm not gonna sit here and say the middle of. Someone commented I said the middle of the schedule is a cakewalk. No, it's not. It's just there's more winnable games in the middle where we're like it's a toss-up on who would win, and I like our chances in those games. Beginning of the season, as much as I said I do want the Eagles to win, I'm a Redskins fan. I want my team to win every game. I will probably stand on here and say I want every video for every game, and I will sit here and say that I want the Redskins to win every game. Yada yada yada. Okay, that's just the way I am. But if I'm being realistic, the first 2 games of this season are going to be tough. They're 2 playoff teams. They have stout defenses. They have good quarterbacks. One of our biggest weaknesses is mobile quarterbacks, and both of them had pretty mobile quarterbacks. And we're going to have another one this week. So winning those games will be tough. Week 1, we should have won. Week 2, not so much. I think Dallas just outplayed us. We couldn't get over the penalties, and we couldn't get off the field on 3rd down. The offensive line penalties. Let me rephrase that. The offensive line penalties. So I think this is a must-win game for the Washington Redskins. We have to get out there. We have to beat the Bears. We have to beat them soundly. I'm predicting like a 24-13 win, 21-13, something like that. The Bears really haven't been able to score, so it might not be the fact that our defense has to do much. It's going to be the fact that our offense, if the defense just doesn't give up a lot of points, we can actually win this game. I know Bears defense is stout, but we'll see. I think that the Washington Redskins defense could do enough. And I think we have the talent. The cupboard's not bare. We have the talent to do things. I just don't know why our defensive coordinator's been playing it safe all year long. And I think we can win this game it's like 23-17, 21 to 10 or something like that. It won't be a game where we like blow them out of the water. I mean, maybe it will. We have some games where like Monday nights we'll like kick the crap out of people, and then some games we'll just lay an egg. A couple years ago we played the Raiders, and they were the 2-0 best offense in the league statistically, yada yada yada, and we went out and just pecker smacked them 27-10. And the only reason they got 10 points is because we had 2 turnovers on our 10-yard line, with a fumble from Jamison Crowder and a fumble from what was the running back at the time, Rob Kelly maybe. So we definitely have the capability. And here's the last thing I want to go over, and this is something that has nothing to do with this game. I think we can win this game. I'm just going to put that out there. I think AP will try to establish the run. I think our pass blocking's been great, so I think we need to do a lot more play action. And I think with AP, it does help the play action game. I really think we also need to get Smallwood and Cam Sims more involved in the offense. I don't think our offense has been horrible by any stretch, but it does seem to run a little bit better when Cam Sims is involved. And I also think Wendell Smallwood is a better fit for the offense than Adrian Peterson. I like it. Everyone gets all pissy and moany when Adrian Peterson didn't start. Adrian Peterson would not have impacted the game. And I get it, but if you're looking, what are you looking to do as an offense? If you're looking to have an offense where you can run a lot of read option, you can run a lot of certain things out of the shotgun, Adrian Peterson's not that kind of runner. He's north and south runner. That's what everyone got butthurt about, and that's what Jay Gruden was referring to. It's an I formation. You got to hand the ball off to him. He goes north and south, which is not bad, and it's not a bad thing to run north and south. But what it does limit your options. You can't run stuff out of shotgun now. Okay, with AP in the game, you can't run multiple different sets. You can't run screens with AP. I mean, he can catch. He's added that to his game in the last year or two, but it's not part of his game. His game is a downhill running attack, which is not horrible. Don't get me wrong. It's good. He's good at it. He's one of the best to ever do that part. But the problem is it does limit the offense, and people need to stop being butthurt about that. They understand football. Okay, there's an aspect of football that people don't understand, and that's like, skill sets matter. And if you don't have a skill set, this is what Chip Kelly tried to do in the NFL. He tried to just get players that would fit his system and not players that were talented. And he tried to squeeze them into a round peg in a square hole, or square peg in a round hole, and it didn't work because they didn't fit. Even though their skill set fit, they weren't the most talented guys. You have to have talent in the NFL before you can actually win football games. Okay, and if you have talent and you made a talent the right way around your scheme, then it's going to work. But in the NFL nowadays, you have to be able to run a lot of different types of runs. And if you have Darius Geis, he can run north and south, he can run east and west, and do a one cut and go. He can do that. Adrian Peterson can't do that. Wendell Smallwood can do that. Even Thompson can do that. He's just too small. He's going to get injured. Okay? So here's something I want to go over. Two things. First off, I'm tired of Jay Gruden needs fired bullshit. If anyone needs fired, it's Bruce Allen. He's a garbage. He's a garbage GM. He's garbage. He's not accountable for anything he does. He's part of the reason why our team has been not playing well. We've actually not drafted horribly under his regime, but he just doesn't. He's just not a really good GM. I don't want to get too much into ins and outs of why he's a bad GM. I mean, one of the things I'm going to go over right now in the next part of this, but I'm tired of people saying that Jay Gruden needs fired. Now, Jay Gruden has a bad season this year, and he hasn't been horribly injured all year or whatever. Then we can have that discussion. That will make more sense. But Jay Gruden has been a very solid coach for the Washington Redskins. You're going to sit here and say that, oh, he's this and that. We don't have adjustments. Okay, there's not much adjustments you can do in the first game against the Eagles whenever your offense is doing everything right. What are you going to do? What are you going to adjust? Hey guys, stop doing everything right. I mean, they got to adjust to us. If you're doing anything right, there's not a lot of adjustments you can do. This is why I used to coach basketball. It's better to go like 20. When I coached high school basketball, it was better for us to go 22-1 than 23-0. The 22, that one game, you learn more from losing than winning. That's like if you're having a game where you're having you're having a half where you're having a couple 3-and-outs and all these things, and you're not doing everything right, and you're having a couple goofs and mess ups, you have something to go into halftime and correct and work on. If you're having a half where you're doing just about everything right, other than maybe like a drop pass or something, you're not going to have that opportunity. You're not going to have the chance to actually go in and make adjustments. It's like our offense. Against the Eagles, there's not much you could have done. Maybe pass block or run blocking better, but it was working because they were so hell bent on stopping the run, and they had no respect for Case Keenum that they forced Case Keenum to beat us, and he actually did, and which was great. And it was like, listen, they're going to try to stop the run hard. We're going to do it on that play action, guys. We're going to do that. We're going to run the play action until they stop it. And then when they back up, we'll pound the rock late in the game because we'll have the lead. Problem is, guys drop passes. Problem is, offensive line had holding penalties. And the problem was our defense. The defense had one bad play in the first half, and they didn't adjust to it. They had an adjustment. They didn't. The next long pass that they threw, the defense didn't communicate, and Jimmy Moreland let a guy run deep. That's what happened. That's all there was to it. So Jay Gruden is not the problem with the team. Are there some things Jay Gruden could do better? Sure. But I don't know how many coaches you're going to have. Like, I'll use last year as an example, where he had almost his entire offensive line. He had a backup quarterback, actually a 4-string quarterback. He had all these things happen, a backup running back, and the guy still goes 7-9. What the hell? If the team's healthy, what does that equate to? With a healthy team and still having a backup running back and not having Darius Geis for the beginning of the season, we were 6-3 to start the season. If everything would have stayed par, we'd end up at least 10-6. At least 10-6. At that pace, we would have been 11-5 or 12 or 11.5 and 4.5. If you do that pace and play it out. So, the last thing I want to go over is I said this in preseason, and I love being right, but I also don't like being right. As I said, there's 3 players we should have traded in preseason. Trent Williams, because he's older, he has value now. Teams need an offensive lineman. Second player was Jordan Reed. I said Jordan Reed needed traded. He's too injury prone. He's never healthy when you need him. Yada yada yada. He's never healthy. He's never available. Nothing against the guy. I'm sure he's a great guy and he works his ass off to get back every time he's injured. And I'm not challenging his character. I'm just challenging the fact that he's not available to ever play. And it's not a vitriol thing. I don't hate him because he's never playing. He's just never available to play. He's always injured. It's the problem I have with him right now. And then the last person was I actually said to trade Josh Norman. Now, a lot of people are really grinding into Josh Norman this week. And Josh Norman, I'm going to be honest, was not the problem last week. Yeah, Fabian, or whoever corner safety is it Nick? I always get these two mixed up. Fabian Moreau and Monty Nicholson. I think it's Nicholson. Nicholson was supposed to cover deep on the one deep bomb to whoever it was. I don't think it's like Gallup or whatever. If you watch the game film, Monty Nicholson bit on a crossing route, so he played up, and Norman was supposed to have help over the top, and that's why he got beat. If you watch the film, it's very blatant. And the one, I mean, against Deshaun Jackson, you're not going to win that one. You're just not going to win that one. Deshaun Jackson's one of the fastest players ever in the league, and he's always going to be one of the fastest players. But I said in the preseason that, listen, we need to trade these three players. Get draft picks for this year. We can build guys. If we did trade, let's say we trade Jordan Reed and we got, a third-round pick. Okay, we wouldn't be worried about we kept hold of tight ends that we cut. That's the first thing. We'd have kept hold of some tight ends that we cut. That's the first thing. So we'd have J.P. Holtz, which I think was actually a very good tight end for us. He's a good receiving tight end. So J.P. Holtz, we could have kept him, and we'd have a draft pick. And we could have either replaced the tight end position, there was plenty of good tight ends in the draft this year, or we could have also we could have traded Trent Williams. If we got just a first-round pick for Trent Williams, I don't know. We could have spent that on Monty Nicholson. We wouldn't have to give up 2 second-rounders to get Montez Sweat. We wouldn't have to give up 2 second-rounders to trade up and get Montez Sweat. There could have been a ton of different things we could have done with that pick. Maybe keep that second-round pick and get, the tight end that we need, another offensive lineman that we need, whatever the case may be. And if we did traded Josh Norman, yeah, he's still a good corner, but he's just, I don't know. I'm of the belief, this is my personal belief, I'm of the belief whenever someone who's an older player has about 2 years left in his contract, trade him. I do this in Madden all the time. I'm not sitting here saying that Madden is the all-knowing and that's like how you need to coach football, but I do this in Madden every time. Whenever I have a player who is above 30, I think it was 32 was my cutoff. That's the quarterback, that's no exception. I have a player that's above 32 years old, or whatever, 30 years old, and they have like 2 or more years left on their deal. I trade them, get value for them, start breeding rookies or breeding young players, or go to free agency and get a younger player and push them. And it's not about, it's not a hateful thing. I think Josh Norman's played pretty well for us over the years. Everyone always says he doesn't get a lot of turnovers. Like, yeah, actually does. Whenever you go his way, he gets a lot of turnovers. When you run his way, he punches the ball out. He's very good at punching the ball out. If you go his way, he's very good at getting his hands. He's got some pretty crazy interceptions that he's gotten over the years. People just don't throw his way because they know that he's a ball hawk. He'll play the ball and he'll get his hands on it. And it's just not going to work out well for you if you're a quarterback. So they don't go his way very often. Jordan Reed and Trent Williams have also been very good talents for us. But we just have to be more. This is what I mean by Bruce Allen needs fired. You have to be, first off, you have to be emotionally detached from this. Like, for example, I like Kerrigan. Kerrigan hasn't done shit this year. He has 1 sack. He has not played very well. I've seen the guy get mold over, and he's getting old. I love Kerrigan, but he's getting older. And we're at the point where, okay, we're going to keep sticking with this older guy who's not producing, or are we going to move on? Okay, and I'm not advocating for that. I don't think we're at that point yet with Kerrigan. But, after this season, we need to evaluate that. Is Ryan Kerrigan going to be a player who, he can age gracefully and he can actually still be productive? Can we play him at the defensive line or something? Or is he a player that we're going to have to move on from because he's occupying a roster spot where we can draft and play someone younger and better that'll be here long term? So, and I don't get me wrong, Kerrigan's one of my favorite players. Probably the most consistent Redskin we've had in a long time. But that is something that I think the Redskins need to start doing, and I know it sounds very like harsh and cruel, but once players get old, you got to get rid of them. Look at the Patriots. Patriots only have one player that's old on their roster right now. That's Tom Brady. It's because he's a quarterback who's won 6 Super Bowls, been to 9, has 4 Super Bowl MVPs, yada yada yada. Like seriously, I don't. That one makes sense. You don't keep if we have like Adrian Peterson, he's playing good right now, but he's old. Okay, eventually he doesn't have that burst anymore. He plays hard, he runs smart. That's why he's playing right now. And if it wasn't for someone being injured, he wouldn't be playing at all. Because of exactly what Jay Gruden said. He has one style of running, and he can't do other styles. Can't teach no new tricks. And this is why Bruce Allen is fired. Is he needs to recognize these things, and he also lets his personal vendetta or personal pride get in the way. If he said like, "Oh, I'm not trading Trent Williams, he'll be back," and he's sticking by that until Trent Williams comes back, or they go a whole season without having Trent Williams on their roster, then that's pride right there. That's exactly what that is. Get rid of him. Move on. It's been a distraction. Jay Gruden, I guarantee, is getting tired of getting asked this question. If you watch him in press conferences, he just goes, "Oh my God, here we go again with this fucking question." It's just I'm pretty sure he's getting irate about it. But that's pretty much my video. I think the Redskins are gonna do a good job. I think we're gonna win tonight. I think we're gonna win tonight. We have the opportunity to go we can win 2 over the next 3 games. Let me just put it that way. Or I'm sorry, 3 over the next 4 games. We can win this one. We can beat the Giants, and then I think we're gonna lose the Patriots. I think we'll beat the Dolphins. And once we play that, and that's what I mean. The middle of our schedule's not. I wouldn't say they're pushovers, but the middle of our schedule is definitely winnable. Okay, we have a lot of games in the middle of our schedule that we can win. We can beat Detroit. Okay, we can beat Buffalo, the Jets. We can beat those teams. Okay, Carolina, we can beat that team. We can beat the Vikings. Okay. Packers are going to be a challenge. Packers are a lot better than I anticipated this year. But there's a lot of teams that we can. 49ers are going to be a challenge too. They're going to be tough. But there's teams in there that we can win. I'm just going to guarantee you. I watched the Steeler game with my wife. She's a Steeler fan, against the 49ers. If the Washington Redskins get 5 turnovers against the 49ers, we're gonna score more than we're gonna put up a 30-point game at least. It's going to happen. Our offense, the way it moves the ball, that's something we can do. But again, this is my video. Like, subscribe. Thanks for watching. Have a good one. See ya.